Hi everyone, welcome to As If Brandy, created with the sole purpose of discussing wonderful hit TLC shows, giving my opinions and views of what matters. Today we're going to be discussing Omar and Avery. Recently, I watched a YouTube video from Ebird Online of an analysis of Omar's body language and mannerisms. Ebird Online made this YouTube video with the intention to show that Omar is not sincere in his marriage with Avery. Ebird Online proposes in her video that Omar's body language and mannerisms are indicative to the fact that Omar is not really interested in Avery, he's only looking for a green card. Here is a little bit of background on Omar and Avery. Avery's 19 years old and converted to Islam. She met Omar on a Muslim dating app. The two decided that they were going to get married. Avery flew to Lebanon with her mother to marry Omar. 30 seconds into Ebird Online's video, she begins to paint a picture of Avery as a very naive young person trying to discredit Avery in some way. She also brings up the fact that Avery became a vegetarian and her younger brother sold her out, telling everyone that she was sneaking fried chicken to her room. So she's painting this picture of Avery as wishy-washy, unstable, immature. Automatically, the audience is going to think that Avery has no idea what she's doing. Many comments have been made about Avery too, that she's so young, she's too young to make these decisions for herself. This is Greta Thunberg. No one is trying to discredit what Greta is saying. No one is trying to say that she's too young to be talking about the very controversial issues that she's discussing. Greta's 16, Avery's 19. Avery's too young to make decisions for herself, but Greta is the authority on the matter. No one is trying to discredit Greta. Wrap Greta's head. Maybe people would look at her differently. In this season, we're up to the episode where Avery and Omar are married. Avery's mother has left Lebanon, leaving Avery alone with Omar to spend the next couple of days with her new husband until she returns to the US. I just want to stop here and say thank you for watching this video. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and give me a big thumbs up. I would love to create content that you guys would be happy with, willing to watch, and interested in. Ebird Online asserts that Omar's body language and behavior to this point indicate that he's not interested in Avery. Ebird Online starts to look at Omar's body language just before the wedding, she says. There was something off about him, something she didn't quite understand, something that just didn't feel right. Now this is where Ebird Online suddenly forgets that Avery's name is Avery and she starts calling her Ashley. So Ebird Online says that Ashley says to Omar she's very excited about their wedding tomorrow, and Omar has no response. Ebird Online says Ashley, again her name is Avery, asks Omar if he's really excited to kiss her tomorrow. Ebird Online says that Omar looks back at Avery with a quizzical look on his face. You could tell that he wasn't happy with what Avery was saying. First of all, Omar has a camera and a crew of we don't know how many people in his face. It is no big surprise to anyone watching that Omar is a Muslim, Avery is a Muslim. These are topics that Muslims normally don't discuss in a public setting. These are topics that Muslims keep private. Intimate relationships with your spouse is something that should be respected and kept private. So why is it surprising to you that Omar would not want to discuss this in front of a camera crew? Omar tells the camera crew later that he and Ashley are very different. He's quiet, Ashley's loud. In his culture, in his religion, it is not common for girls to talk about kissing and such of that nature. Why is there a problem with Omar saying this? I would think that the problem would be with Omar holding this information back, with Omar trying to hide this information. So the fact that Omar is upfront about how he feels about Avery discussing their intimate privacies with a camera crew and all of the US and national television, that should say a little bit of something for his character. Now Ebird Online decides that because Omar has said this, he has plans. He has plans to change Avery. He has plans to stop Avery from doing the things that she's doing. He has plans to oppress Avery. if I may be so bold as to say. But he hasn't started with his plan because he needs to get that ring on the finger. He needs to lock Avery in. If he starts telling Avery right now that, hey, you can't be that way, then Avery might run away from him. I think that any girl in love can tell you that when she was in love, she was blinded. Nothing that her future husband could have said to her, other than the fact that he's having an affair, other than the fact that he's sleeping with another woman, would have made her turn away from him. So if he said to her, you need to be a little more quiet when you speak, you need to be a little more self-reserved, you need to have a little more etiquette, you need to carry yourself better. If my future husband said that to me, I would say, oh, okay, no problem. Because I'm so in love, I'm so blinded with the love, I'm so blinded with what's to come, I'm so blinded with the relationship, with the building of a family, with this person that I want to spend the rest of my life with. I'm willing to make any compromise to be with them. To be quite honest, these are things that Avery already knows. Avery accepted Islam before she ever met Omar. Avery stepped into this religion on her own. Avery has researched and Avery has discovered what is expected of her as a Muslim. 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the Ebird online video, she makes the big proclamation: Omar is not into Avery, he's only looking for a green card. Her proof for this proclamation is that when Omar and Avery met on the online dating site Match, that Omar lied and told Avery he was originally from the United States, he was American, he lived in the US. I do not know where she got her information from, but this information is totally false. If you go and research Match, you will find that you have to enable location services when you sign up on this app. In Omar's defense, Avery mistakenly thought that Latakia is located in Michigan. But when this was discussed, Omar immediately informed Avery that in fact Latakia was located in Syria and he was Syrian. He never lied about his location. He never told Avery he was American. He never told Avery that he was in America. This is false information, but I think that you need to clarify your information before putting it out on a national platform. So first of all, you've based your whole decision that Omar is looking for a green card on a lie that doesn't exist. Second, what's the point, you say, of looking for love in another country unless you want to go to that country? Ebird Online, we are living in the day of the internet. Meeting someone online is as easy as looking at their face and swiping right or left. We can make a connection with anyone from anywhere so easily that all it takes is liking their appearance. I believe that Omar was looking for someone wearing hijab. Omar was looking for a girl who was Muslim. Omar found an American convert, and that was attractive to him. Avery is a pretty girl. She was attracted to him. Like you said, Omar's easy on the eyes. Avery was attracted to Omar. It didn't matter which country either of them was from. They started having dialogue and they decided that they liked each other. Enough said. At this point in the Ebird online video, she makes some very heavy assertions. Very heavy assertions. Omar is not into Avery. Omar is using Avery, and he is going to chew her up and spit her out, all for $6,000. Avery is going to be used, mistreated, abused, kicked to the curb for $6 grand. These are very heavy, damning statements to make about a person that you do not know. I am beside myself that I even heard these things come from Ebird Online's mouth. She has a problem with the fact that she hasn't seen any family or friends from Omar's side. Let's get something straight. We haven't seen all of the For the 90-Day episodes yet for this season. Second, even if no one from Omar's side ever shows up, Avery signed up to do this show with TLC. Omar agreed to do this show with Avery for TLC. Does that mean Omar's family and friends have to expose their privacy? Does that mean that Omar's family and friends are automatically signed up too? No, it doesn't. Everyone is entitled to their privacy. Doesn't mean that Omar's family doesn't like Avery. It doesn't mean that Omar's family doesn't know what Omar's doing. It doesn't mean that Omar's family disapproves. At this point, really, the only assertion that you can make is that they are entitled to their privacy and maybe they're just keeping their life private. Bustle.com has an article entitled 11 Subtle Signs That Someone May Be Uncomfortable Around You. Omar portrays most of them, but is that because he's not into Avery? Or is that because he's sitting in front of a camera crew of maybe 3 to 4 other people? Maybe that would be the reason why he's uncomfortable. Ebird Online, do you have a camera and crew in your face asking you about your intimate relationships, asking you about your private life, and you already have this notion in the back of your head that the people who are listening to this show have this bias against you, where you come from, your culture, and your religion? That's enough to make anyone feel uncomfortable. It is no surprise to anyone that Muslims do not show public displays of affection. When Avery was caressing Omar, touching his head, and you say they were talking about their night of passion, Omar was very uncomfortable, and it was very clear that Omar was very uncomfortable. This is not something that he wanted to be discussing with a camera crew in front of them. We have no idea what happened behind closed doors. Avery said that Omar seemed very calm. Omar seemed very confident. Omar seemed very comfortable. Well, the camera crew wasn't there. This is a girl that he's been talking to for, I really don't know how long. He's decided that he wants to make a future with her. He spent the last couple of days getting to know her and with her mother. Of course he's going to be comfortable. He has said I do. He's going to be comfortable to a point where he's going to have an intimate relationship with her. Does he want to get up the next morning and go tell the entire world that he had sex with his wife, which is a given? I vote no. He wants to respect himself. He wants to respect his wife. He wants to keep his intimacy private, which he has the right to do. Come on, Ebird Online. If someone wants to maintain a level of privacy, it doesn't mean that they're not into their spouse. It doesn't mean that they're just looking for a free ticket to the US. But Omar, he signed up to do a TLC show, and now he must tell you how, when, where, why he had sex with his wife. No, I don't agree with that. Listen, this is the bottom line. Self-soothing behavior is something that you do when you're uncomfortable. I don't believe that Omar was uncomfortable with Avery. I believe Omar was uncomfortable with talking about sex in front of cameras. I believe that Omar was uncomfortable being groomed by his wife for a camera crew and national television. I don't think that you can make this big proclamation that Omar's out for a green card just because he was uncomfortable in this situation. Avery herself said that he's very comfortable when they're alone together, and that is what matters. Bottom line is, it comes down to the fact that we were not there. Everything is done in editing. Again, let me say, editing is the key to this. TLC needs to make their show desirable. People desire conflict. It's so easy to create that conflict. The reality is, it's a little over-exaggerated. Avoiding certain conversations, one-word answers, and scrambling of the eyes, they are all indications of someone being uncomfortable. I am 100% confident that Omar's uneasy feeling came from the fact that he was in front of strangers being filmed. It had nothing to do with Avery. It had nothing to do with wanting a green card. It had nothing to do with hiding anything other than wanting to hide his privacy. From us, from someone like you who has decided that his marriage is already dead in the water. You've started this autopsy. You've dug the scalpel in deep, and you are picking him apart for absolutely no reason at all. Ebird Online, I think you hit the mark wrong on this one. I don't believe that your opinions on this couple hold any weight. I think that people need to understand that the religious differences and the cultural differences make a big difference. I think that you've made some very damaging statements about a person that you don't even know. Omar has a male gym partner named Salim. In Arab culture and Middle Eastern society, the name Salim belongs to a male. I think ultimately what this comes down to is a lack of knowledge, a lack of understanding, and ignorance. I do believe that Omar and Avery's relationship is very sincere and these two are gonna make it. I'm very proud of Avery. I want to give a shout out to her. She inspires Muslims everywhere and we are very proud of her, and we're very happy for Omar that he has found her.